Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new, welcome back if you're not. If you are a lover of all things beauty, handbags, luxury, and fashion, you've come to the right place. My name is Cici and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about channeling our main character energy in 2025. Happy New Year, officially. I know my hair looks a little crazy today. I think I've decided I'm going to let my bangs grow out, but that's another story for a different day. Today's video is going to be really fun and interesting because it's a special collab I am doing with Melissa Wade and Jamie from Lux Petite. I will link both their channels down below. I absolutely adore these ladies. When Jamie reached out to me to do a collab, I was absolutely thrilled. So I do want to take this moment to introduce you to both of their channels. If you haven't already followed them, I highly recommend doing so. If you love fashion and handbags and all of the things, Jamie from Lux Petite really specializes in neutrals and channeling your neutral fashion and styling. Melissa is amazing with all things handbags. She does colors really well. Both are super creative and lovely human beings, and I think you'll enjoy following both their channels. Melissa put out a video recently, I'll link it down below for you guys, where she talked about goals and setting goals for 2025. I figured I would share this with you because I know we all struggle to set goals and keep them. It's one thing to set goals and think about all the things we want to do differently in the new year, but holding on to them or keeping true to ourselves and sticking to our goals is often very hard. And you want to be sure not to kind of overcompensate. Setting goals that are too difficult often sets us up for failure. So I wanted to share some of the goals that we're doing together, but somewhat individual, and use this opportunity to kind of check in with you guys on a monthly basis and let you guys know how I'm doing when it comes to my own goals. This is a great opportunity for you as well if you're not sure of what goals you want to set for yourselves in 2025. So I figured I'd share what I'm doing in hopes that it will inspire you and help support you, and more importantly, help you think about whether these are similar goals you want to set for yourself. Grab a coffee, grab a drink, grab a snack, depending on where you live, and tune in because I think you're going to enjoy this video. So go ahead and get right into it. For me, 2025 is going to be all about channeling that main character energy. We're done apologizing. It's going to be an unapologetic, true, authentic year. This is an opportunity for us to really be our true, creative, authentic selves, unapologetically. You don't have to fit the mold. You don't have to do what everyone else expects you to do and wants you to do. We have to stop saying yes to everyone else and say yes to ourselves first. So it's really about setting healthy boundaries, saying no when appropriate, and making sure that you're true to yourself. If you're going to do something, making sure that it doesn't hinder you or affect you negatively in any way. I struggled with this because for a long time I was always the yes woman. I said yes to everything at work, in family life, in friend life. I just wanted to be well liked and well received, and I wanted to appease others. And I focused so much on making others happy that it actually took a toll on myself. And I noticed that my anxiety and stress was through the roof. So now I'm doing something differently. I still love making other people happy, and I love bringing joy and happiness in others, but it doesn't have to be at my own expense and at my own cost. There's a way of doing that, but still being true to yourself. And if it's something that you're doing for someone else that's going to hinder you in a negative way, don't do it. I have a list of goals here and things I wrote down as I was kind of planning out my goals and affirmations for the new year that I want to share with you. So this is a page right out of my book. And some of the goals for 2025 that I have are not just about personality and, stress and anxiety and being true to oneself, but there's also some stuff on budgeting, financials, clean eating, being the best version of yourself, making sure you're incorporating movement into your daily life, especially weekly, exercising more, or just getting up and moving. I think I also want to take the opportunity to kind of share my vision board with you as well and how I construct my vision boards. If you don't already have access to Canva will help you. And of course, Pinterest is always great. I typically like to search for things that I am putting on my vision board, goals that I have, whether it's around love or finances or travel or fashion and style, or if it's something that I really want, like a new Hermes bag or something to that effect. I'll find pictures of it in Pinterest. I will save them or screenshot them, and then I'll edit them so that I can add them onto my vision board through Canva. So if you haven't already done that, that's a really fun way of organizing an electronic vision board. And then I like to save it as my phone wallpaper and background so that it's there daily. I look at it constantly. It'll inspire me to sort of work towards those goals. New year, new you is the new topic. So it's all about self-development, being true to yourself, being authentic to yourself, protecting your space, protecting your nervous system and your emotions, emotions. It's a great opportunity to assess the people in your life. If there's someone that doesn't make you feel good or brings you down, or someone that really brings down your energy, and you'll know this because you'll get off the phone with the person or you'll finish spending time with them, or even just the thought of them feels daunting, kind of depletes your energy, that's when you know it may be time to let that person go. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to completely cut ties, but sort of minimize and limit the amount of time you're around this person. I am a firm believer that the people in your space and the people around you need to be people that actually add to your energy and don't deplete it. So you want to be around people that bring you joy and happiness. You walk away feeling good after you're done having a conversation with them. You feel a lift in your energy and in your mood. If you're feeling the opposite, that's not the right person for you, and it might be time to consider just limiting your time with them. In some cases, you may need to cut ties altogether, and there's nothing wrong with that either. This also is true for not just the people in your life, but in social media. So if there's someone you follow that depletes your energy or makes you feel bad about yourself, or you don't feel good, or you feel like you need to constantly be in competition with them, it may be time to remove them from your social channels. Maybe hit that unfollow, or maybe hit like hide user. You can kind of limit the amount of posts you're seeing from that person without having to unfriend them, but maybe don't follow them, or just limit the amount of times their posts come through your feed because it's not making you feel good. And on the other hand, you want to follow people that make you feel good and bring you inspiration and creativity. Yes, they might have things that you would like and you'd aspire to. It's important to not be jealous of others, right? And to be mindful if you're feeling that within yourself. It might be time to have that self-reflection. Think about why you might be feeling jealousy or resentment towards someone. If you're feeling jealousy simply because someone has something that you want, you got to shift that mindset. Try to shift that mindset more to inspiration, looking up to a person. You know what? That person has something that I want. Good for her, good for him. How do I work towards that, right? How do I use this person as inspiration? If that person did it, I can do it. And I've always been a firm believer of that. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is outside of your reach. If someone else has accomplished it, you can absolutely very well accomplish it as well. But you have to focus your mindset, set those goals, and then work towards it. You have to pour into yourself and nourish yourself. I had a friend, Natalie. I was a single mom at the time. She was also a single mom, and we shared an office together, and we became really close friends. And I remember this like it was yesterday, but she once said to me, you can't pour from an empty cup. And what that means is if your cup is empty, meaning you've completely depleted yourself, your emotions are in the tank, you're not feeling well mentally, really feeling run down, depleted, exhausted, diminished, then you can't do much for anyone else. And especially when it comes to caring for loved ones such as your children or your friends and family, you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to make sure you're pouring into your own cup first before you can care for others. Be sure you prioritize yourself. This is that year where you want to start to focus on you and your needs and what you can do better and what you can do differently. So think about things that bring you joy, bring you happiness, whether it's getting a manicure, getting your hair done, going for a lunch, favorite cafe or favorite place that you enjoy eating at, whether it's spending time with a certain friend or loved one that brings you joy and happiness. Doing all of these things are all very much a part of self-care. And I think also recognizing whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. In my case, I am an introvert, believe it or not. So I recharge being on my own, which means if I've spent a lot of time around groups of people or around others, my social battery depletes. And at the end of the day, I need that opportunity to kind of recharge and unwind in a very quiet space, whether it's reading a book or watching a show quietly on my own, just having some quiet time. I really thrive in that environment. When my husband and kids and everyone's out of the house and it's just me and the dogs, sometimes that's just absolute solace to me. It's just so amazing. It makes me feel so good because it gives me an opportunity to just be in the quiet. And this is where, meditation might come in. So if you're interested in exploring meditation, you can start considering guided meditation. They have a lot of free ones on YouTube. I've also started listening to the miracle meditation every night before bed. I've actually gotten my husband into it as well. So we both fall asleep listening to the miracle meditation on YouTube. Not only is it soothing and helps you fall asleep, but there are subliminal messages of positivity and how to envision positive things in your life. And if you read through some of the comments of others that have listened to this meditation, you've seen that things that they've been manifesting or looking forward to have actually come to fruition. There's something to be said about meditation, guided meditation particularly, but also having some sort of subliminal meditation in the evening when you're ready to unwind and go to bed, and in that that twilight sort of state right before you're about to fall asleep, but you're still slightly awake, your mind is very impressionable. And so that's a great opportunity where you can listen to a recording that brings you joy and happiness and works on some of the things that you're looking to change in your life. So highly, highly recommend. I'll link that down below for you guys as well. But this is really the year for self-care. It doesn't have to be expensive. It should be something you actually look forward to doing. Again, whether it's reading a book, making yourself a cup of tea, getting yourself a favorite cup of coffee. You know, sometimes I wake up and I know I have a tough day ahead of me, really long day of meetings or something that I know is going to be tough and take a lot out of me. Maybe I'll run to my favorite coffee shop and get my favorite cup of coffee, or I'll buy myself a little sweet treat if that's what I'm in the mood for and I can afford it calorie wise. I'll get my favorite book and I'll sit down even if just for 10 minutes to read that book. Another book I highly, highly recommend called The 101 Essays That Will Change Your Life. This book has been amazing to me. Honestly, when I'm feeling really down and sad or anxious, just reading one page lifts my mood and makes me feel much better and puts me in a much better mental state. So these are all great things you can start to do and incorporate in your life as it relates to personal development and self-care. The next one is Rich Girl Energy. And what this means is really around budgeting, looking after your finances, and kind of just getting them straight. I am really focused on this mindset in 2025. Last year, obviously, I was on my Hermes journey. I purchased a lot. This year is an opportunity for me, especially over the next 3 months as we prepare for our spring and summer travels, to really save and cut down on costs. So if you want to do a no spend January, this is a great opportunity to do that. I might even take it into a no spend January, February, March, and just really focus on paying things off and putting money in the bank and saving, really decreasing and watching my spending as you gear up for the rest of the year. That's not to say that obviously if an emergency comes up or you have a special birthday coming up, you can still purchase them a gift or get them a little something, but you don't have to overspend. Buying gifts can be really difficult because we're often buying stuff. We're buying things that are tangible. Instead of buying someone stuff, why not buy them an experience? Take them to dinner, get them tickets to a show. Do something where you can either do it together or you can get the tickets or a gift card for them to experience on their own or with a friend or loved one of their choice. But I find that gifting towards experiences or even just taking a friend out to a nice lunch or to dinner, my best friend and I have started doing this for the last, I want to say at least 5 or 6 years. Every year for one of our birthdays, part of our gift is we take the other one to dinner or to lunch. And we have one favorite place. We tend to choose the same restaurant every year for both our birthdays. So I'll take her to dinner at that restaurant when it's her birthday, and then she'll reciprocate and take me to dinner to that restaurant on my birthday. And I found that we really enjoy it. We both don't need to buy each other stuff every year. And if we want to get each other a little something, it doesn't have to be astronomical. It can be a little gift card or a little something that is of low monetary value, but the thought is there, the gesture is there. And I think going out of your way to make the reservations and plan the lunch or dinner means more to someone than actually buying them something that they may never use. So going back to that rich girl energy, I also want to talk about budgeting luxury. I know that this is a luxury channel and a lot of you are really into your luxury purchases and luxury spending, and that's okay. You can still decrease some of your spending and really focus on an item that you want. So for me, I am jumping back on that Hermes journey in hopes of getting a Kelly or another piece. So I am going to really limit my spending in any other fashion houses. I'm not going to be buying any other bag unless it's an Hermes bag. So that is a limit I'm placing on myself for this year. No bags from any fashion houses other than Hermes. So if I get the call and I get the opportunity to purchase another one, which I suspect may be mid to later this year, I'm not expecting anything anytime soon, which is absolutely fine with me because it gives me an opportunity to save. I can put my money towards that purchase and start to put money aside and prepare for that purchase. Even if it's $10 a week, little things add up. Instead of buying coffee every day, I think coffee especially has become so astronomically priced. Once in a while as a self-treat to kind of bring up your mood, totally fine. But if you're buying coffee every day and you're spending at least $5 to $7 or more on coffee, take that money, put it in savings, and make your coffee at home. Not only oftentimes are the calories much lower and oftentimes the coffee tastes better because you're making it exactly to your liking, you can actually save money. Whether it's buying lunch out every day or buying a coffee out every day, take that money, put it aside into savings, and prep your own. I tend to meal prep every Sunday, and then I'll do another mini meal prep during the week so that I have food constantly in the fridge. Both my boys are in sports, sports. My husband works outside of the home. So it's important for us to always have meals that we can grab and go and take with us. So this is a great way to start to budget as well for your luxury. And yes, I know some of you are going to say if you're buying luxury things, the last thing on your mind should be spending on coffee or the amount of money lunch will cost because you're spending thousands of dollars on a bag. I hear you. I do. But there's also a way of doing it without being an overspender. Just because you enjoy the finer things in life and enjoy luxury items doesn't mean you need to spend all your money in every aspect of your life. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to be eating out every day. It's unhealthy to eat out every day. Buy your coffee out every day. Oftentimes they're filling it with fillers and sugar and all these syrups and things that are really not healthy for you, which kind of leads me to my next topic, and it's that healthy hustle. Focusing on where you can kind of decrease some of those calories, decrease unnecessary sugar or carbohydrates or processed foods, really focusing on eating whole, natural foods that are good for your body, more fruits, more vegetables. So I've been working with a fabulous coach, and I do have to give her a shout out. I'm going to link her Instagram right here. Maree has been a godsend to me, and I am so thankful to have her in my life, in this community. And this is what I love about this community because it connects me with so many of you that are such an inspiration. I also want to give Jeanette a shout out because Jeanette has really inspired me. I've been following her fitness journey, and as a mom, I know how difficult it is to lose weight and to get back into shape and get back into a healthy lifestyle. And she's done it. She's done it with 2 babies. She looks fabulous. I want to give them both a shout out. Maree has been helping me with really honing in on my macros and tracking my calories, not necessarily limiting the amount of food that I'm eating, because I'm actually finding I'm eating more food, but more whole foods and healthy foods. And instead of supplementing it with processed foods or high sugary foods or foods that really aren't good for you, I've been focusing more on incorporating fruits and vegetables, lean meats and proteins, and it has been such a game changer. So Maree, if you're watching this, girl, shout out to you. This is for you. Jeanette, same. So many of you really inspire me and push me to do better and to be better and to be my best version. And I want to do the same for you. So healthy hustle is something I've really been focusing on this month and incorporating movement and fitness into my routine. So I've been working out a minimum of 3 days per week, and I'm cross training between cycling and strength training. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see occasionally I'll post myself at the gym or I'll post myself at cycle bar. So I've been cross training between the two, and it has been amazing for me. I get bored very easily, so if I'm just doing one routine and just doing strength training or just doing cycling, eventually I'll burn out and get bored. It's nice to have something else as an option if you don't feel like doing one of the two things. So if one morning I wake up and I really don't have the energy to cycle and I'd rather just go to the gym, my AirPods in, and just get a good strength training workout, great, I have that option. I can go to the gym and do that. The other day, I couldn't get to the gym in the morning. My little guy was home sick. So what did I do? I got through my meetings, I planned my day, and then the minute I had a break for lunch, I went to the gym, I did a quick 40-minute workout and came back home. It's better than nothing, and it adds up. If you can't get in a full workout, even if it's just a 10-minute walk around the block or taking the pups out for a walk, doing lunges around the house, or doing squats every time you go to the bathroom, and thank you, Maree, for sharing these little tips with me, it does add up and it makes a difference, and you're getting some movement in your body, which is so good. And these are going to be the little things that are going to be the difference between how we age, how we treat our bodies. You'll see people that age really gracefully and have so much movement and are sharp. You know, they're 85, 90, but they're a young 85, a young 90. Why? It's typically because they've incorporated movement in their body throughout their lives. So they're exercising daily, whether it's going for a swim or a walk or anything. My dad is 77, I want to say, 78. I could be wrong about that. He's pushing 80. He's getting there. And gosh, is he 80 already? Now I can't remember how old my dad is. Isn't that terrible? But anyway, he moves his body every day. He plays music every day. He's such an inspiration to me. He always has been. He walks at least 2 to 3 miles every day. He swims every day at the gym. He knows that when he's in a funk, he just needs to go out and move his body. And for me, as a person who has anxiety and depression, moving my body and just getting up and doing something makes all the difference. So just set a goal, even if it's 2 days a week, to do something good for you. Block it in your calendar like you would an appointment. appointment. Make sure that no meetings or anything else creep up during that time. For me, I try to do it either right after morning drop off or midday in the middle. If I can't make it in the morning, I try to schedule a little something for my lunch or during my break and just get it in. It has made such a difference for me. Healthy hustle with me. The next one is adventure and travel goals. If you have any travel goals, your finance and budgeting is going to lean into the travel goals. Start saving, put together a little nest egg towards travel, put together a little savings account towards travel. That coffee, that lunch that you would have otherwise purchased, instead of putting it towards your luxury spending, you can put it towards a trip that you want to take. Focus on that experience you're looking to explore. Do something fun, whether it's something as small as a dinner with a friend or loved one or spouse, or it's actually taking a full-blown trip to an island or a weekend getaway. There's so many ways to incorporate travel. It doesn't have to be super crazy expensive. My husband and I are very big on using points, so we have leveraged our credit card, utilizing points that we build up and accumulate. And oftentimes you can use those points towards airfare, towards hotel stays, and then all you have to worry about with your trip is really spending on food. You don't have to worry about accommodations, you don't have to worry about airfare. Even if you can get your credit card points to pay for some of your trip, you're somewhat saving money because that's money you would have spent otherwise. You have the points sitting there. You might as well put the points towards airfare or accommodations to a trip that you're looking to take. I like to plan ahead. So for me, I'm trying to plan my trips for the summer and end of year. I'm starting to look at ideas for next year as well. So we do have a big trip coming up. So I'm going to be really budgeting and very cautious on my spending leading up to that time frame. We also want to plan ahead for the summer and what's going on the end of the year and just have something we can look forward to, something we can budget towards. And I find also the further in advance you book a trip, oftentimes you don't need to pay the entire thing outright. You put a deposit down and then you pay a little bit as you go. So each month you put a little more money towards it. And by the time that year has come and gone, you've found that you've paid that trip off. And when it's time to take that trip, the airfare, the accommodations, the bulk of the trip is really paid off. And all you have to do is worry about food and restaurants and eating out. And you can save towards that in the meantime. So book that trip, start thinking in advance. If it's not something you can do this year, that's okay. Book it for next year, but have something on the horizon. Start looking at hotels or areas you want to stay in and start to kind of build out that list and that vision board of where you want to stay. We tend to book based on the area we want to visit. So for us, if we want to visit, say, London, we're going to look at hotels in London, look at accommodations, what area we want to be in, and then we start looking at the hotels and Airbnbs and what are our options, what's more cost effective, can we use points? So for example, in one of our upcoming trips, we're staying at an Airbnb. Airbnb thankfully lets you book by only paying a deposit. Sometimes it's, I think, 50%. So you pay 50% up front, and then by the time the trip comes, you can save and pay off the rest. You can save money till then, however long you've allotted, and then by the time the trip comes, it's already paid for. You just have to pack your bags and show up. This is the year I highly recommend travel. I really think it re-energizes and recharges my soul. I always come back feeling more creative, refreshed, with a new mindset. Everyone needs a getaway. I think a change of scenery is so important for all of us, mentally, emotionally. It just recharges you. So start booking that trip, start planning ahead. I think we touched on this earlier, which was connection, rethinking your relationships and who is in your circle. Again, this is a reminder to make sure you're reevaluating your circle and who's in your circle, who supports you, who loves you, who's authentic, honest, and true, and who maybe isn't. And you can feel that in your gut. If you have a feeling that someone is maybe not their true self and isn't supporting you, whatever the case, it's time to reevaluate that. Friendship, relationship. I'm a giver. I'm very much a generous person. So if someone is in my circle and I care about that person, I will go out of my way for that person. But if that person is not doing the same for you, it's time to maybe take a step back and reevaluate that friendship. Sometimes it can work out. Sometimes the person realizes it and they start to reciprocate, in which case that relationship can be salvaged. But you'll know very quickly. Just take a step back, observe, and watch what happens. That's really it for today's video. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this forum. I hope you'll join me in some of these new goals. Comment down below. Let me know what some of your goals are. And if any of the points I touched on resonate with you, if they are goals that you would consider, or if you have other goals that I haven't mentioned that you are putting on your vision board and putting out there for 2025, I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you so much. Until next time, bye.